At this point, it feels less like a coincidence and more like a Pixel tradition. Google just cannot keep a phone's secret to save its life. I mean, at this stage, they might as well live stream the design files because by the time launch rolls around, we've already seen everything. And the Pixel 10 family is no exception. Weeks before the event, leaks have been dripping out like a broken faucet, and honestly, we now have a pretty good picture of what's coming, what's changing, what's not, and maybe what Google hopes we'll still be surprised by on stage. Now, whether all of it's true or not, we'll find out soon enough. But here's what the rumor mill and insiders are saying. Before diving deep into today's video, a quick request. A single click on the subscribe button from you genuinely fuels my motivation to create more videos like this. It means a lot. Also, drop a like and comment if you like the video. Now let's get straight to today's topic. This year, the Pixel 10 family is made up of 4 core devices. You've got the regular Pixel 10, the Pixel 10 Pro, the big Pixel 10 Pro XL, and the foldable Pixel 10 Pro Fold. That's the foundation. But like every good product launch these days, it's not just about the phones anymore. Google is going for the whole ecosystem refresh. Alongside those 4 phones, we're also getting the Pixel Watch 4, which now comes in both 41mm and 45mm sizes, plus a new budget-friendly pair of earbuds, the Pixel Buds Tua. And if you're thinking Tua, really? Yeah, I don't get the name either. Maybe someone at Google is a big Dolphins fan. But the point is, they're giving you phones, a watch, earbuds, the full kit, all tied into Google's ecosystem, so you're not just buying a device, you're buying into the Pixel lifestyle. If you're already a Pixel fan, this is a pretty big year. If you're new to the lineup, Google is clearly trying to make it as easy as possible to just dive in headfirst and go all in with Pixel gear from day one. Alright, let's get into design. And here's where opinions are going to split. Because if you were hoping for a total makeover, you're going to be disappointed. Google is basically carrying over the Pixel 9 design wholesale. If you've seen last year's phones, you've basically seen these. Clean lines, that iconic horizontal camera bar across the back, very minimal branding. It's safe, it's consistent, but let's be honest, it's not new. There are some small dimension tweaks here and there, just enough to make sure your Pixel 9 case won't fit on the Pixel 10. Which, yeah, is frustrating, because now you're buying new accessories whether you like it or not. But overall, it's clear Google is doing the Apple strategy: refine, polish, repeat, instead of reinventing the wheel every 12 months. The one area where they're mixing up a little: colors. The standard Pixel 10 is getting playful this year. Sure, there's the usual safe obsidian black, but you've also got indigo blue, frost silver, and this bright citrusy lemonella green. It's like Google wants the base model to scream personality. Meanwhile, the Pro phones are keeping it professional. Think obsidian, porcelain, jade, and moonstone. They're classy, they're muted, but maybe a little boring. And the Fold? Even more limited, just jade and moonstone. It's safe, it's elegant, but if you were hoping for something wild like that green on the regular Pixel, you're out of luck. Under the hood though, this is where things get more interesting. The big story is the new Tensor G5 processor. And here's why that matters. This is the very first Tensor chip made by TSMC instead of Samsung. If you followed Pixel phones for a while, you know they've had issues with heat, throttling, and efficiency. A lot of that comes down to Samsung's fabrication. By moving to TSMC, there's real hope that the Pixel 10 will finally run cooler, last longer, and just feel more stable overall. Now, is Tensor suddenly going to beat Qualcomm's Snapdragon in raw performance? No, that's never been the point. Tensor is about artificial intelligence and efficiency, not top of the benchmark charts. But if this chip means smoother performance and fewer overheating moments, most Pixel users will call that a win. There are other solid upgrades too. Storage gets bumped up to US 4.0, which means faster app loading, faster file transfers, and smoother multitasking. RAM stays at 12 gigs for the regular Pixel 10 and 16 gigs for the Pro models, which is plenty for what Google's software demands. Base storage is still 128 gigs on the Pixel 10, but the Pros and the Fold now start at 256 gigs, which feels much more premium and helps justify the higher prices. Batteries are getting bigger across the lineup, topping out a huge 5,200 milliamps on the Pro XL. That's the largest battery Google has ever put in a Pixel. Charging speeds are inching up too, with the Pixel 10 and Pro models hitting 29 watts and the XL pushing up to 39 watts. The Fold probably won't see a huge change here, but even a small improvement is welcome. Combined, these tweaks make the Pixel 10 family feel more future-proof. Of course, we can't talk Pixels without talking cameras. And this year, there's a bit of a twist. The regular Pixel 10 might actually downgrade. Instead of the big 50-megapixel sensor, it could step down to a 48-megapixel main lens, paired with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a new 10.8 megapixel telephoto. On paper, it looks like a step backward, but strategically, it might make sense. Google could be deliberately holding back the base model to nudge people toward the Pro phones. And the Pro phones keep their big boy setup from last year. You've got the 50 megapixel main, a 48 megapixel ultra-wide, a 48 megapixel telephoto, and a beefy 42 megapixel selfie camera. What's new are the software features, things like 100x zoom, better macro shots, and something called Camera Coach. This is essentially artificial intelligence in your ear, guiding you toward better framing, better lighting, better composition in real time. Think of it as Google's way of making everyone a semi-pro photographer without the manual controls. The Fold's camera stays the same as last year, but honestly, for its category, it's still plenty solid. Now features. This is where it gets fun. Pixel users have been begging for years for MagSafe-style accessories. And finally, with the Pixel 10, Google is delivering. They're calling it Pixel Snap, and it works just like Apple's version. You'll be able to snap on chargers, stands, battery packs, all without clunky third-party cases. It's not flashy, but it's one of those things you'll end up using daily and wonder how you live without. Beyond that, there are whispers about deeper artificial intelligence features in Android 16, with even more multimodal support. Basically, the Pixel 10 lineup could get even smarter in how it processes voice, images, and text together. But here's a curveball. In the US, the Pixel 10 might drop the physical SIM slot entirely, going eSIM only. For most people, not a big deal. But if you like swapping SIMs, or you travel a lot and use local carriers, that's going to be annoying. Global models should still keep the SIM tray, so this could end up being a US-only headache. Pricing is where things get mixed reactions. The regular Pixel 10 holds steady at last year's price, which keeps it competitive. The Pros, though, are going up about $100, with the Pixel 10 Pro starting at $1,099. Part of that is because of the bumped-up storage, but still, it's a noticeable jump. The Fold holds at $1,799 for the base model, though if you max it out with the terabyte of storage, you're crossing the $2,000 mark. Not shocking for a foldable, but definitely not cheap. Launch is set for August 20th. Pre-orders should open the same day, with most of the lineup shipping by August 28th. The Fold, as usual, might be a little late to the party, possibly October. Foldables just seem to need extra time. So that's the Pixel 10 lineup in a nutshell. Familiar design, bigger batteries, a new chip with higher hopes, some controversial camera choices, and finally the long-awaited magnetic accessories. It's a safe year, but also a smart year. The question is safe enough? For Pixel fans, it's another solid upgrade cycle. For everyone else, it's going to come down to whether Google's blend of artificial intelligence, smarts, and clean design can pull you away from Apple and Samsung. Personally, I think the most interesting debate is whether you pick the colorful, playful base Pixel 10 or spend more for the Pro's serious power. What about you? Are you leaning toward the bigger storage, the zoo tricks, and the monster batteries? Or are you more tempted by that bright lemonella green? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know where you land on this one.